This morning we're going to pick up beef at the butcher. Well, what do we got here? 2 heifers, 6 boxes each for a total of 12 boxes plus 1 bag each of organ meat. And as per usual, about half of it is steaks and other miscellaneous cuts, and half of it is ground beef. I found there's a big difference between taking heifers and steers to the butcher. The last steer that we sat a little over, well, it was about a month ago, was 400 pounds dress weight, which is a good weight for a Dexter in my book. About 28 months old. These heifers were about the same, 28 months old, and they dressed at about 300 pounds each. So that is a huge difference. And I'll tell you, a lot of the difference, I think, is in the marbling. These steaks, this is a rib steak or a rib eye, they aren't as marbled as much as a steer would be. And I chalked that up to the kind of old wisdom was that heifers put on weight slower than steers because more of their body energy goes to developing their reproductive system. I don't know if that's true or not, but there certainly is a difference. By the way, I'm going to cook some of these for dinner tonight on the grill and show you the best way to cook grass-fed beef. But for now, I got to get these into the freezer. It's sunny and windy today. Nice day. We're going out to clean up some of the furniture in the pasture because it's getting to be the end of our poultry pasture season. And we got lots of stuff to clean up out here. Get it away for winter. Hey, where'd the turkeys go? Where'd they go?
They moved from their high-rise into the freezer.
Oh, they're on a permanent vacation to freezer camp. It's empty. So here's the state of our pastured poultry, because remember, pastured poultry is our bread and butter. I mess around with the cattle and the pigs a lot, but chicken really pays the bills. The layers will be out here for a month maybe at the most. We still got to butcher stew hens, and the way that we do that is we grow 5 standard breeds and we grow replacements for about half the flock every year. So this year we grew out Rhode Island Reds and White Leghorns. They're in the pullet house back that way. So that means that the Rhode Island Reds and the White Leghorns out here are 2 years old, and they're going into stew hens. Hillary and I have yet to do that. And we have 1 box, well, partial box of broiler chickens left that we're going to butcher this week, take to market fresh for Saturday, and then we will be done with broiler chickens on the pasture. And that's it for pastured poultry. We just got to clean up all this empty stuff and give the cattle a special surprise when we're done. First thing to pack away is all this electronet. This is how you gather up electronet. You never roll it up. You always gather the posts and let the fence hang down from the posts and gather it together. And then when you go to roll it up for the winter, well, not roll it up, but gather it up, lay it out like this. And then don't roll it from the post end or you'll lose track of which is the first post and have to sort it the next year. So you roll it from the looping end up and leave the posts on the outside of the roll. We love electronet, don't we, Hill?
It's a necessary pain in the neck.
I have a love-hate relationship with it. The stuff can be really hard to work with. And then we just tie it up with a string and put it away for the winter. And that's it for the turkey electronet. 4 rolls on the tractor. Now we can put the turkey ark away. And away we go. And we got to bring the broiler boxes back to their home. Get them out of the way. I gotta go out and find the temporary fencing materials. I'm not sure where we left them, but when these guys saw me, what a bunch of belly achers. I gotta drive all around here and find out where we left the temporary posts and rolls. I don't know, but this sure is some beautiful grass, I know that. Hillary had to leave to take our oldest daughter Cora to work, so I'm gonna go get the temporary fence stuff. Well, here's 2 rolls. All this stuff needs to be taken up to the top fields. Well, the cattle figured out where I was and they were really giving it to me. You guys got tons to eat out here. I can't believe you guys. I think I never did anything for them. I suspect that I left the temporary stuff all the way down there. So I got a little bit of walking to do. Patty suspects that I can't hear her anymore, so she's leading the whole herd over to here so that they can yell at me at close range. They much prefer that than hollering over a distance. I can't figure out where I left those posts. They gotta be here somewhere. Oh, I see. The cattle were just trying to be helpful. They were pointing out where I left everything. Geez, they're so helpful. Of course, they got into it and made a mess. That's always fun. Holy cow! I'm glad that job's done because these guys are one angry mob. I'm getting tired of listening to them yell. I'll see you guys in a little while. Hillary's back. Well, we got all 5 of the pasture boxes in, and I went around the fence with the tractor, and so now we're going to put up a little temporary fence and give the cows what they're after.
At least for a couple hours.
Oh, jeez, they've been yelling at us non-stop. Wowie. 1, 2, 3, 18, 19, 20. Okay, these guys' time of happiness is at hand. I just have to open up this gate. Come on, cows! Come on, cows! They seem a little skeptical. Come on, cows! I think they tired themselves out complaining all day, so they barely have the energy to get up here. Come on, cows! I know you guys are starving to death. No, they see it. Kicking up their heels. And a bunch of confused calves on the other side of the fence. Hey, Titus. Yeah, I know. And as usual, I gotta go round up these guys. They're a little slow on the uptake. All right, we'll push these little guys in. Come on, guys. Come on, little ones. No. You gotta go around the other way. Goofball. Don't go back that way. Oh my gosh. Try it again. Come on, little one. You got to go around the gate. There you go. There you go. How the heck did you get in there? You're not supposed to be in there. Come on. Out you go. You goofball. You're supposed to be out there in the field. Calves, you know, it takes them about a year to get with the program. Oh, they're definitely happy. They're running around. Settle down and eat. What have we got them on here? Well, this again is nice stuff. It's like a theme this year. I mean, look at how tender that clover is, and the grass. I hope they don't tromp too much of it down. They wound up tromping a lot of it down in the lower field, and that's why they were belly aching so much. There was plenty of grass there. They just tromped it down. So if I leave them off of it for a week or maybe 2 weeks, hopefully the grass will pop back up and they can graze it again. Get out of my way. All right, I want to show you what kind of voltage I'm getting on this poly rope fencing here that we temporaried with. Watch this. 9,200 volts. I think that'll keep them in. This is Prudence, and remember Prudence is our last mama cow that hasn't had a calf yet this year, who is very pregnant. She's due in the beginning of November, which isn't too far away. And yes, she is round. Well, it's quiet. I think it's time to go in and make dinner. I'll see you later, guys. While the charcoal's getting started, I'm going to talk a little bit about grain finished versus grass finished steaks and how to cook grass finished steaks, because I guess that the overall theme is they're more finicky, they're less bulletproof than cooking grain finished steaks because they have less marbling. And like I said this morning, these steaks are from 28-month-old heifers, and they tend to be less marbled than our steers. And that's the big thing. The more marbling you have, the less likely you are to dry out the steak. These are 1.5 inch thick ribeye steaks. The theme with cooking these steaks is, well, there's a couple themes. Number one, they don't do very well if you like a well done steak. Medium rare or rare is the way to go, and I cook them to 130 degrees center temperature. The longer you cook them and the more done they are, the tougher and drier they're going to get. The second theme is low heat, because when you just bomb them with high heat, they tend to toughen up or strengthen up more. Now, there's other ways to cook them than on the grill. In fact, I use 3 ways to cook grass-fed steaks. My preference for older beef, and I do this when, say, we send a 10-year-old cow to butcher, is to do sous vide, which is French, I think, for vacuum cooking or something like that. You seal the steaks in either a vacuum seal or you put them in a Ziploc bag and work all the air out of the bag, and then you put them in a pot of water with a sous vide cooker hooked to the side of it. We have one, and you cook it at a very low temperature for a very long time. I cook them at 130 degrees in the water, and for an older cow, I may cook a rib steak for 24 to 48 hours in that 130 degree water before I take it out and do a reverse sear. I sear it at the end of the cooking process. So that's one way you can do them. Particularly good with very tough cuts on older cows. Doesn't dry them out at all. The second way I cook them is a combination of cast iron and in the oven. So for these 1.5 inch thick steaks, these are perfect for that method. I get a cast iron skillet really hot on the stove, put a bunch of butter in it, drop the steaks in, they smoke, they sear smoke Sear them for like a minute and a half on a side till you get a nice crispy sear on them. Meanwhile, before you got the skillet hot, you've heated up your oven to 350 or 400 degrees. Now after you sear the steaks on the skillet, you pull the skillet with the steaks in it off the stovetop, stick it in the oven and turn the oven off and let them finish in the oven. And the way that I figure out whether things are finished or not is, well, it's back there. I use a probe thermometer. I just stick it into the center of the steak, and that way I know what the center temperature is. Oh, and before I put these steaks on, I forgot one other thing. With grass-fed steaks, I always leave them out to come up to room temperature before I start cooking them, either on a skillet or on the grill, because it keeps them more moist that way. There's less actual cooking to be done if you've brought them up the 30, 40, 50 degrees, whatever it is, to room temperature to begin with. Alright, my coals are ready. Let's get these on. So I put these coals on half or so of the grill so I can do both direct and indirect heat cooking. I sear them over direct heat. That was 3 minutes, but I got a pretty hot fire here, so I think that's good enough. Flip them over. This that you see on the steaks is Montreal steak seasoning, which my family likes a whole lot, and I use on most things. Yeah, that's plenty. Put the lid back on and let them sear on the other side for another 3 minutes. And while the steaks are searing, I get to watch the chickens, which keeps me entertained. I'm pretty simple that way. So now I'm going to take these steaks and I'm going to move them over to the other side of the grill and let them cook on indirect heat over here. Shove them all over there. And here's a key. And when I cook them on indirect heat, I want them to be at low heat. So I turn this a little less than half on the top vent. I don't mess with the bottom draft, just the top draft. And I know with the vents this way, that grill is going to drop to about 250 or so. And I'm going to let them finish that way. Well, let's check. I've been on the grill a total of about 25 minutes. And I just stick this into the center. And I'm shooting for about 125 degrees. And I'm there. My target temperature is 130 degrees, but I get them to 125 on the grill, cover them, and let them rest for, I don't know, 5 minutes or so. It redistributes the moisture back out to the outside of the steak, so you have a moisture steak overall, and that center will warm up another 5 degrees, setting in the pan as more heat from the outside comes to the middle. So it's all about the details with grass-fed beef. And I'll show you. These are juicy. See the juice? And of course I got to do the chef's taste test. That's what they look like inside. Medium rare. You will find that the outer fat on grass-fed beef tends to be tougher than grain-fed beef. Or grain-finished, I should say. It is not dry. It is not gamey. It is delicious. So that's the way to cook grass-finished beef. There's a couple things I wanted to mention before I sign off and go in and eat my delicious dinner with my family. The first is I'll be at the Ithaca Farmers Market this Saturday. Please come and see me if you're able. We're fully stocked with the last fresh chicken of the year, pork, and now we have a new supply of beef, and we also have some turkey cuts. Whole turkeys are sold out for the year. They were sold out before we ever butchered, so I'm sorry about that, but we have a local clientele that has bought them all up for years. Just repeat customers buy them. I guess that's all I have. I hope you enjoyed the day with me, and I'll see you next time.